We are the Sexto Sol Center for Community Action, an award-winning nonprofit working in the Sierra Madre region of Chiapas, Mexico.
For over 20 years, we have been helping people in remote villages to create a better quality of life. In recent years, with support from water charity, we have been helping communities to build much-needed water systems. Can you imagine raising a family when you have to carry all your household water by bucket? Deep in the heart of the mountains where high-altitude coffee is produced, thousands of people struggle to raise their families without access to water. Every single day, whether the kids are tired or not, they have to go out with a bucket and carry the water from more than a kilometer away. The cost of building materials needed to build a new water system is just out of reach for people who make a living raising potatoes or corn or coffee. And that's where we come in. We provide them with the technical assistance they need to come up with a viable plan for bringing the water in from the mountains. And most importantly, we provide the materials that they have so long needed but could not afford to pay for themselves. This is the story of two communities where the water is now flowing for the first time in over a decade. The leaders of Hermosillo invited us to visit to learn more about their situation. In 2005, a catastrophic hurricane destroyed their water system, as it did in countless remote villages throughout the region. So our team headed out with our kids to meet the people in Hermosillo and to see what could be done for them. We had a little time for some warm pozole while the men sorted out the motor. The road beyond the pavement is pretty impressive. It was harvest time, so coffee beans were spread out to dry everywhere you looked. A dad with his daughter on graduation day. Southern Mexico has been seriously impacted by climate change, due in part to massive deforestation. Fortunately, Hermosillo has access to a really good river for its water supply, so we agreed to proceed with our project. The work began with building a catchment dam. We were pleased to see the young guys working with the men and gaining an invaluable lesson in how great it is to help your community. During the 2017 rainy season, we had some pretty severe storms. Unfortunately, a massive landslide cut off the road. It was nearly 2 months before we could deliver the hose to complete the project. Finally, the work resumed. Work crews took turns laying down the hose as the terrain demanded. It crossed through coffee farms until finally the water arrived in Hermosillo, and life got a whole lot easier. Loma Linda is another village located on a ridge across the river from Hermosillo. Growing coffee is a way of life for the people there as well. The success of the coffee crop, as well as the price set in the New York Stock Exchange, will determine how much money a family has for an entire year. When the representatives of Loma Linda first came to our office to ask for help, we learned that not only did the lack of water mean that life was difficult for them, but it also means that the people could not properly process their coffee, since the harvest comes during the dry season, as rivers and creeks are drying up. The only way that small-scale coffee growers can hope to earn a bit more for their crop is to join a grower cooperative and market the volume internationally. But even though the coffee from this region is known for its quality, unwashed coffee ferments, making it unattractive to specialty buyers who would potentially offer a better price for it. Once again, water is indispensable for these families. When Loma Linda's water committee first approached Sexto Sol, we had our doubts that we could assist them. They had only found one small creek which did not provide much water at all, as you can see. Fortunately, they found another creek and obtained the permission they needed to be able to use it. Once again, we headed out to see if it would be feasible to help Loma Linda. It's always a pleasure to meet the people and hear what they have to say about life in the Sierra. As you can see, these people are doing the best they can with what they have, working hard, keeping their families healthy, and hoping for a better future. We brainstormed with the water committee about the best plan to follow. We would build a catchment dam on each of the creeks and then use 2-inch hose to connect them so that enough water would feed into a holding tank. From there, the water would flow into an existing distribution tank that we would have to repair. We took this project on as a challenge to get the water to Loma Linda in time to wash the coffee for the coming harvest. We were treated to the traditional meal given to honored guests, caldo de gallina del rancho. Here's the president of the water committee when we organized the purchase of the hose. We asked him to chronicle the building of the tanks with his photos. The work was proceeding well when the same landslide frustrated us again. Finally, the day came when the truck carrying the hose pulled out of Motozintla. Driving a heavy load on these back roads is not for the faint of heart. But people in the Sierra know how to get things done, like putting down heavy hose in difficult terrain, and finding the means to haul rock up cliffs, all for the purpose of improving life for their families. We consider it a privilege to be able to help them do that. As of February 2018, we have requests from 13 more communities that urgently need water. Many of them have not had water since the hurricane in 2005. And there is no end in sight as more people come to our office. The lack of access to running water is one of the most difficult things about life in an impoverished community. Just getting water into their homes makes a tremendous difference. If you or your business would like to help us meet this need, please consider making a tax-deductible contribution from the links on this site or visit our website to learn more. It doesn't take much to make such a significant change, and it is so worth the effort.